Most people think building wealth is all about having the right tools. But in reality, it usually comes down to behavior. The truth is, we already have access to plenty of powerful financial accounts in this country. Many of them simply go unused. And that's exactly why a new type of investment account for kids is getting so much attention right now. It's called a Trump account. Some people are calling it a total game changer. Others argue it could end up benefiting higher income families far more than everyone else. So today, I want to break it all down. What these accounts actually are, how they work, potential benefits, and the real-world drawbacks. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear framework for deciding whether Trump accounts are genuinely useful, or just a well-intentioned idea with real limitations. What is a Trump account? At its core, a Trump account is an investment account owned by a child, but managed by a parent or legal guardian until the child turns 18. The money inside the account is invested in broadly diversified index funds or ETFs, typically providing exposure to the overall U.S. stock market. The goal is simple: long-term growth through compounding. While the child is under 18, the money is generally locked up, except for very limited circumstances. But once the child turns 18, something important happens. Under IRS rules, the Trump account loses its special child account status and transitions into a traditional pre-tax IRA. From that point forward, it follows the same tax rules, withdrawal restrictions, penalties, and conversion options as any other traditional IRA. That includes things like Roth conversions, early withdrawal penalties, standard IRA distribution rules, and this is where timing really starts to matter. How are Trump accounts funded? First, there's a potential government seed contribution. For every eligible child born between January 1, 2025, and December 31, 2028, the federal government plans to deposit a one-time $1,000 contribution into a Trump account as part of a pilot program. However, as of now, these accounts are not yet available. Parents won't be able to officially open or fund a Trump account until July 4, 2026, when the program goes live and the first government deposits are scheduled to begin. Before that, in early 2026, parents will be able to register and submit required paperwork, including IRS Form 45,547, so the account is ready to receive funds once the program launches. An online enrollment portal is also expected by September 2026, which should make the process easier. Contribution limits: once the accounts are active, funding can come from multiple sources: parents, grandparents, other family members, employers, charitable organizations. Here's how the limits work. Up to $5,000 per year can be contributed per child by individuals and families. Combined, employers can contribute up to $2,500 per year, but that amount counts toward the same $5,000 annual limit. Government seed money and charitable contributions do not count toward the $5,000 cap. Those are essentially bonuses on top. Why supporters like these accounts? Supporters argue Trump accounts offer several powerful advantages. First, the early start. Getting money invested from birth, especially with government seed money, allows compounding to work over the longest possible time horizon. Second, long-term tax-deferred growth. Money invested early in low-cost, diversified funds can grow dramatically over decades. Third, access without earned income. Most retirement accounts require earned income. Trump accounts do not, which gives children access to tax-advantaged investing years earlier than usual. Fourth, flexible contributors. Unlike most retirement accounts, contributions can come from a broader community, not just parents. And finally, the behavioral impact. Research shows that once an account exists, people are far more likely to continue saving over time. Simply having an account can change behavior. What happens at age 18? Once the child turns 18, the Trump account is treated like a traditional IRA. At that point, one option is a Roth conversion. Here's how that works. Contributions were made with after-tax dollars, so those amounts are not taxed again. Investment growth has never been taxed, so it is taxed as ordinary income when converted. Because most 18-year-olds have very low income, much of that taxable amount may fall into low tax brackets and could even be offset by the standard deduction. Many financial planners see early Roth conversions as a very smart long-term strategy, but it's important to note that nothing happens automatically. The child has to actively execute the conversion. The flexibility question: you'll often hear that Trump accounts can be used for education, buying a home, starting a business, but this language usually comes from promotional or political messaging, not directly from the tax code. Once the account becomes a traditional IRA, education and first-time home purchases may qualify for penalty exceptions, though taxes can still apply. Starting a business is not a penalty exception, so while these accounts are marketed as flexible, they primarily function as retirement accounts with limited early access options. Real-world growth examples: let's walk through a realistic scenario. Assume a $1,000 government seed contribution at birth, $5,000 contributed every year until age 18 using an 8% annual return. The account would grow to roughly $191,000 by age 18. About $91,000 in contributions, about $100,000 in investment growth at a 10% annual return. The account would grow to about $239,000. $91,000 in contributions, $148,000 in growth. Now imagine no additional contributions are ever made. If that money compounds until age 60, at 8%, it could grow to around $4.8 million. At 10%, it could approach $13 million. This is where the real power of these accounts shows up: time and compounding. Legitimate concerns: despite the upside, experts raise several important concerns. Uneven benefits: families who can afford to contribute the maximum every year will benefit the most, potentially widening the wealth gap. Lack of automation: accounts are not opened automatically. If parents don't enroll, the child doesn't receive the seed money. History shows optional programs often have low participation. Complexity: contribution rules, tax treatment, Roth conversions, penalties. Complexity reduces participation. Better tools already exist for education. 529 plans are often more tax efficient for kids with earned income. Custodial Roth IRAs are usually superior for flexibility. Brokerage accounts have no penalties or restrictions. At the end of the day, most families only have so many dollars to save. That raises a fair question: are Trump accounts the best place for those dollars? A practical way to think about Trump accounts from a planning perspective: Trump accounts make the most sense as a supplement, not a replacement. A realistic priority order might look like this: Fund a $529 for education. Use a Trump account for excess savings before a child has earned income. Transition to a custodial Roth IRA once earned income exists. Trump accounts work best as a bridge strategy during pre-income years. They're not best in class for any single goal, but they can complement other tools if used correctly. Final thoughts: Trump accounts can provide a meaningful head start, especially by getting money invested early without requiring earned income. But they are not magic, and they are not a one-size-fits-all solution. If you're considering one, make sure you fully understand the rules, the tax implications, and how it fits into your broader financial strategy. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. If you found this helpful, hit like, subscribe for weekly videos, and feel free to share it with someone who could benefit. I'll see you next time.